Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hormel Stadium here in Medford, Massachusetts for our 2014 Ultimate Series Showcase, the high school all-star game between what will be our red and blue teams. Jeff Poster here today. Eric Sabesta will be on hand as well, though, doing some double duties as our PA announcer. The red team pulling to start, already forcing a turn. Blue out defending. This team is finishing up their high school seasons. Teddy Campbell out of Holliston High right now handling. And it's going to be thrown into the end zone for a turn. Blue will pick it up and bring it back down the other way. Matt Connolly, St. John's Prep, will start things off here for the blue team. Swinging out far side on the right. A little too hot there for number 98, Patrick Baker from Concord Carlisle. Red will take over again. Good opportunity here to score early. And another disc. That one defended. Looked like got a piece of it. Was blue. So, starting things off again. Blue right at their own end zone. Swings it out to Leanne Go out of Lexington. She's going to put up a nice throw right there, but it's a little too much for Baker to handle. Floats just out of his outstretched arm, and will be another turn. So sometimes when teams come together like this, it's almost like a pickup game because some of these kids have not played with each other. Well, most of them haven't, so trying to feel each other out a little bit, see what each other can do. That's Nick Juergens, Middleborough High, right now handling. He's going to dump it back to Dave Stroud out of Natick. And Go again, gets it back to Nick Juergens. His handle a good amount here on this point. Swings it to the right, back into Connolly's hands from St. John's Prep, and he tried to feed a cutting Leanne Go. And it's a little too much for her, and it'll be a turn once again. And Red will take over, though, much farther back in their own territory this time. Disc tapped in. Blue doing a nice job defensively, and there's another turn. Sumner Cushland from Ashland High School went for the one-handed grab. Now easy put here for Connolly, and in for the score is Ryan Almeida out of Ashland. Blue up 1-0. Blue set to pull. Now with the 1-0 lead, Nick Juergens will do the honors, pulling down to red. And it'll be picked up by Rusty Verrill out of Holliston. Ryan Almeida, who scored the first point, a senior out of Ashland High School, will be heading to Davidson College next year. Some more colleges, and there's a nice D right there. Matt Connolly, I started to say we'll have more colleges listed off for some of these players. Connolly putting this one deep and a little bit too far out the back of the end zone. And it'll be a turn as Red will take over. Red coached by Rob Brazil Sr. and Claudia Vasquez. Blue under Rob Brazil Jr. and Alicia Score. So a family affair here at the All-Star game as Red turns it over, and Connolly will pick it up once again. Matt Connolly from St. John's Prep. Nice high grab, jumping grab there for Juergens. Waiting for his stack to show up, and kind of a lazy, easy-going hammer there. Gets it into Connolly, and Connolly trying to work around his defender with the backhand. Ends up throwing it a little too low and rolls into the end zone. So another turn. Blues had a lot of opportunities here early to start, and able to punch it in once. And Connolly, a much bigger body on his man, defending nicely. And the Blue will get it right back in. Another score for them. Once again, it's Ryan Almeida out of Ashland. 2-0 Blue. 2-0 Blue the score. Ryan Almeida with both goals today. That one he got from his teammate. The assist going to Chris Bartoli. Both men out of Ashland High School. Red looking to get on the board, and there's another turn. Kate Matthews, who was handling out of Concord Carlisle, throws it away. Blue will take over again. trying to get a long put on a tough throw was Blue, and they turn it over. Here's the first huck we've seen this afternoon, and it's going to work out just to be kind of a punt there, as not really close. Evan Dean out of Zavarian High School putting that one. So disc was barely inbounds at all for any of that throw, so Blue gets to bring it back up. Patrick Baker, Concord Carlisle High School, handling right now. A lefty swings it around to Teddy Kurowski. In the hands now of Liango. Nice put there, and a nice grab. Paul Warmington from Attleboro High School. Looked like he was a little bit surprised to see the disc in his hands, but makes it 3-0 Blue. Blue set to pull here now with a 3-0 lead. Alex Nagel putting that one deep, and Red still trying to get on the board. Spencer Davis, Concord Carlisle High School. Over to Sumner Cushlan. Back to Davis. Red's swinging it. Working in a hoe stack with Cushlan, Davis being handlers. They tried to put it deep on the wing, and it's going to roll out of bounds. Again, not exactly typical field you'd see a high school game played on. You can see there are the blue lines are our boundaries here, as the wind is picked up a little bit, moving left to right, and ends up grounding that disc, and Red will send it right back almost in the same exact spot. So Blue gets it back almost immediately. Paul Warmington handling. Swing over to Nagel. Nagel got it up ahead to Anga Chandra from Concord Carlisle, but she ends up turning it over. Bobbled catch there. Forehand huck trying to get it down to Cease Root from Andover High School. Nice put right there. Still a little bit short of the end zone. Taking her time. Tough mark put on by Teddy Kurkowski. Dumped it back to Cushland. Davis. And that one's going to be D'd by Blue. Nagel, who's been all over this point so far, the Blue All-Stars. And Nagel's throw a little bit off the mark. Spencer Davis right there. He didn't really have to do anything to it. A low throw. Now in the hands of Pascal Froelich. And it's in for the score. Right on the board for the first time this afternoon. Cease Root, number 1 out of Andover. Red set to pull here up 3-1. Or excuse me, Blue up 3-1. Red getting their first score of the game. Two of our lady players here in this mixed team. Pascal Froelich out of Newton North High School getting it to Cease Root from Andover for the score. Nice grab there from Matt Connolly. Connolly headed to Colby College next year. And now in control of the disc again. And Red moving into his own defense with a 3-man cup. Connolly gets it back, able to break through into the hands, and it's turned over. So Red zone works. Now in a good position to make this a 1-point game. Nice feed in there. Evan Dean to a sliding Jake Adner from St. John's Prep makes it 3-2. Red's right back in this one. Red will pull this time, trailing now 3-2. One of the funny things about this All-Star game is you actually get players from the same school on different teams. We have 4 Concord Carlisle students in this game, and Anga Chandra and Patrick Baker on the blue team, and then Spencer Davis and Kate Matthews on the red team. So chance for some of these players to go up against some of their own teammates as Blue turns it over. It will be picked up by Evan Dean out of Zavarian. Shakes off his first cut, looking for the next one. Into the hands of Root. Root with a goal today. Tried to dump it right back to Davis, but Connolly is there. Knock it down. Connolly with a significant size advantage against a lot of his players. Puts a long toss out into the hands of Almeida, who beat his man going to the disc and leaves him with plenty of time to get a hook to Nagel, making it 4-2. Blue continuing to be on top here. Blue to pull, and that one's going to sail out of bounds, so Red will get some decent field position here. Cushland will pick it up out of Ashland High School and move it out to midfield. And it'll be marked by Bartoli. So a couple of teammates right there. Cushland and Bartoli, both out of Ashland High. Matched up against each other, and Bartoli wins the battle, knocks it away. Cushland will pick him right back up. Bartoli has to dump it back in the hands of Juergens. Juergens gets it over to Almeida. Almeida tried to dump it back quick into the hands of Juergens, but he bobbles it while still moving. So Cushion will pick it right back up. Here's a huck downfield, and it's a little bit short as Nagel got a hand on it, knocked it down just for reassurance. He'll pick it up, and that one a little too hot for Almeida, so Red in some good position here. Spencer Davis. Nice low swing. And that one a little bit too much again. Craig Coco. First time we've seen him on the field out of Natick High. Blue with a huck. Nice layout grab there. Jesse Nason from Andover earning that one. She'll dump it back quickly into the hands of Drought. And Blue will put it in for another score. Ryan Almeida, second one of the day. Connecting for that one makes it 5-2. Blue on top. Blue pulling once again up 5-2. We have a little bit of confusion. We have two number 13s on the blue team, both Alex Nagel and Dave Strout. Nagel out of Abington, Strout from Natick. And Red will start things off again in that host stack. Get it into one of their poppers. That's Cushland. Who's staying with them defensively? Jake Adner, one of the handlers here. Gets it up to Campbell. Teddy Campbell out of Holliston High. Dump back to Rusty Verrill, also from Holliston. And that's a long huck from Adner. And he make the catch. He did. Nice dig out there. Falling to the ground. That's Cushland. He's had a nice afternoon, but he can't put it in. The caught D right there for Blue, so they'll take over. As Blue is, I think, starting to click a little bit more as a team. A little bit quicker than Red has so far. That one into the turf. And Adner will pick it right back up. Good read of the disc right there. CC Root, number 1 out of Andover. Her second score of the day. Oh, no. This one's going to be called back. I guess we're going to have a foul on the throw. And it was a nice put, too, by Adner. And Root made a nice adjustment moving to her left, but called back, so Adner will get another chance. Foul going against Kevin Wren out of Ogden Boxborough. This time he hammers it. Up ahead now to Verrill. Verrill trying to work around a defender. Gets it back in the hands of Adner. Adner trying to take over this point. Nice low throw. Diving grab right there. Sumner Cushland. 5-3 the score here in our D2 All-Star game. Blue on top of the Red. as Matt Connolly picks it up and starts things off, swings it over to Warmington. Into the hands of Wren. Wren marked by Coco. Dumps it back. Warmington lost his balance there for a second. Gets it back. Taking his time. Shakes off a couple of cuts. Now he's going to put one out deep. Wren making the long cut, and looks like he's just a bit outside. Might be a little bit tricky here for the players initially to keep track of the boundaries, as mentioned, playing here at Hormel Stadium as Spencer Davis makes that catch. Hormel Stadium, home of the Boston Whitecaps here in Medford. They have the field line specifically for this game. Nice grab at the knees. Casey Banta-Ryan out of Acton Boxborough, but then she throws it away. So Connolly will pick it up here again for Blue, and he's just going to put a huck up right away. He's got two men deep, and it's Warmington with the catch and in for the score. He makes it 6-3. Blue on top here. Blue pulling once again. Just going to hang up for a while. Nice pull. Finally floats in right at the front of the end zone. And Red will take over. Rusty Verrill out handling alongside Evan Dean. Dean gets it back to Verrill. Verrill has it. Nice low grab right there. That was CC Root. Root having a tough time, though, getting it away, and awkward throw. Cushman was right there. He just couldn't grab it. Blue benefiting from another turn. They've been playing nice defense. This one's going to float and right into the hands of Red. Red up ahead to Dean. Dean gets it right back. Nice grab right there, reaching up with the right hand. Here's a big hot root downfield. Can't catch up to it. And it's going to roll out the back of the end zone. 6-3 your score here in the D2 High School All-Star Game. And a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Medford, and right away Blue turns it right back over. Evan Dean puts another big huck up that, again, just rolls out the back. Little bit of wind here today. Too much. You can see the windmill in the distance here in Medford. Moving at good speed. Hasn't affected the game too much. Blue in a traditional vertical stack. Teddy Kurkowski making that first cut. And that one a little bit too much. That sails just beyond the reach of Leanne Go. Couldn't catch up to it, but puts Red back at the other end of the field. Here's Dean again. Evan Dean at Xaverian High School. As Cushman tried the quick one-handed grab, couldn't come up with it. And another D there for, Kurkowski just couldn't reach up and grab that one. So Red will take over. Davis with a nice low grab with the right hand. Thought about dumping it back. That's cut off. Moves it up ahead. Evan Dean very involved. That one turned over. Cullen Widenar also at his Xaverian, trying to connect with his teammate Dean. He drops it. Connolly will pick it up. Connolly's been kind of an offensive force here for Blue early as Leanne Gow tracks that one down just short of the end zone. Nice floater up in the air for Almeida. Already his third score of the game to go with an assist. Almeida and has 7-3 the score here in the first half. Blue leading Red in our high school all-star game as part of the Ultimate Showcase Series here in 2014. That pull floats out of bounds. Chris Bartoli pulling that time. Out of Ashland. Classmate Ryan Almeida has had quite a nice game to start. 3 goals and assists here in the first half. Gonna go for it right away is Red. It's going to float up here. Defender's going to have a chance. And what a grab there. Teddy Campbell from Holliston High runs it down and beats his defender downfield and skies him for the score. 7-4 the score as Adner pulls this one for red and will go out of bounds right at the end of the pull, right around that 35-yard line. So blue move it up to midfield. Chris Bartoli will start things off. Red back in their zone defense, three-man cup. Nice grab there by Almeida. Almost zipped past his head as Strout gets it back to Bartoli. Blue able to break the zone initially, though the swing around again. I think that was Jesse Nason. Couldn't come up with it. Now Red will have a chance to answer, get within 2 here. Nice grab right there with the right hand by Jake Adner. And we're going to get a turn. So Blue will get it back. Nagel over to Strout. Again, both Nagel and Strout, number 13 here on Blue. I'm going to say we're both handling right now. Here's Almeida. Back to Nagel. To Strout. Low throw that time is no good. Can't dig it out was Nagel. So Red will get it back. Kate Matthews out of Concord Carlisle High School. Over to Adner. Adner's been pretty much the number 1 handler here for Red this afternoon. Has to dump it back that time. Nice cut from the back. Casey Bantarayan. No dump for her. Gets it up to Adner. Adner swings it around. Craig Coco moving it up ahead. And that one's going to be just out of the reach of Bantarayan. Starting to look like Red finding their groove here with each other. These two teams, of course, there are a couple of teammates from high schools on each team and some on opposing teams, but still trying to kind of figure each other out, know what their teammates like to do. Low throw dug out nicely. Up ahead to Almeida. Catches a wobbly one. Almeida's going to huck this one down deep, trying to get it to Nason. And she run it down, and it's going to be, well, it falls out of bounds anyway, but she was well out of reach of it. And 7-4 the score here. Blue has had the lead pretty much from the start. We had a long first point, but since then things have kind of balanced out. Pace has quickened up a little bit, but still see these two teams, as I mentioned, trying to find their groove. As another turn there by Red with the wind picking up. Bantarayan, the intended target, and can't connect. Like that was Cushland trying to get it over to her. Nagel will start things off. Dumps it back to Strout. Nagel gets it right back with no mark and a little room to work. Instead takes his time, swings it back to Strout. Blue still working in a 3-handler offense here. Not quite a host act, but they'll turn it over as Adner has it, and he turns it right back over. And now can Nagel get a point once again? Or excuse me, Almeida. Almeida, really the offensive star here for Blue, tracks it in, makes it 8-4, and will take us to the end of our first half. Again, Blue on top here, 8-4. Second half coming up. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Ultimate Showcase Series 2014. Jeff Poster here for our high school all-star game between the red and blue team. Blue up 8-4 as we start our second half. Saw some impressive play from Ryan Almeida. senior out of Ashland High School, headed to Davidson with 4 goals in that first half. Red started things off here in the second half, and now throw it away. First turn there. Paul Warmington out of Attleboro will pick it up. Matt Connolly, another big player for Blue in that first half, has the disc right on cue. Out of St. John's, champion Matt Connolly. St. John's Prep won the D2 title over Ashland. 12-9 final score, though. Interesting enough, St. John's Prep, although winning, as Connolly can't reach up and grab that one, actually had the lowest spirit score in that tournament with just at 3. Ashland, one of the highest, 4.88. So a little bit of a dig there for the champion St. John's. A nice catch there by Cece Root on Red out of Andover. Up ahead to Jake Adner. Adner going to float this one. And what a grab. Ripping it out of the sky. Evan Dean was right there. He wasn't the one that made the catch. It was a Rusty Verrill. And he's going to hammer one in to Cullen Widenar. Widenar for the score. So makes it 8-5. 8-5 our score here in the second half. Blue on top. These two teams trying to gel. Some of them don't know each other too well, and that's a kind of a costly mistake right there as Matt Connolly drops the pull, and Red will get to pick it right back up. Evan Dean starting things off. Scuba there, and it's D'd nicely by Paul Warmington. So Blue will get it right back. But you saw Connolly throw his hands in his face. It's one of the last things you want to do. Nice grab there by Nagel. Nagel had a nice first half as well. Connolly sending this one out. Need to go to the disc right there. Looked like Jesse Nason took a second to realize that. Ends up moving over and grabbing it. Nason dumps it back to Nagel. Dumped back again. That's Juergens now controlling, handling. A hammer there. Nason started to come in and then realized too late she had to go back, so that one's going to float into the end zone and onto the ground for a turn. So Red will pick it back up, starting at their own end of the field. The Red team started to look like they were meshing a little bit more fluidly towards the end of that first half. They took a while to get going as Spencer Davis dumps it back. We'll throw up ahead to Cushlan, Sumner Cushlan. He had a nice first half. Nice layout grab right there. Evan Dean. And Evan Dean's going to huck it down. Pascal Froelich. Can she catch up to it? And it will carry out the back of the end zone for a turn. The field looks bigger, but you can see our 4 pylons there in the end zone really marking our boundaries. It's still same size field as the high school teams are used to playing on. But in this situation, when you're on a big field like that, sometimes it's easy to forget exactly where those boundaries lie. So Blue will take over in front of their own end zone. First cut from Connolly. Nice job getting ahead of Evan Dean, who tried to beat Connolly to the disc. Connolly has to dump it back. Put up ahead to Warmington. Warmington swings it to Kurkowski. Back to Connolly. Connolly wants to put one. Oh, nice layout bid there by Nason, though she couldn't hang on to it. That two-handed motion kind of clapped down on the disc, just went right through her hands. Here's Verrill. Verrill trying to get it up to Froelich, and she can't come down with it. Connolly taking his time, walking back to the disc. 8-5 the score here in the second half. First game are D2 All-Stars. Also have the D1 All-Star game today. This is going to be a put. I don't know if Nason's going to catch up to this one, as Nagel put it all out there for Jesse Nason out of Andover. Can't handle it, though, and Be right back in the hands of Rusty Verrill. Handling here for Red. Again, Red under head coach Rob Brazil Jr. and assistant Alicia Score. Some of them really trying to work with their Red team at halftime. So they're young kids still learning, especially when Ultimate's still very much a growing sport, especially at the high school level. Evan Dean controlling, trying to work past Connolly, swings it out to Davis. Davis, nice little throw. Way to stay with it is Cushland as he fell to the ground. Gets it back to Dean. You can hear the coaches urging for that deep cut. Cushland tracks it down. Straight up mark now on Cushland, trying to keep it from the end zone, and a nice kind of a rolling layout grab there for Red. Gets him in for the score and makes it 8-6. Red making a little bit of a comeback here in the second half. 8-6 to score. Blue still on top, but Red making a run here to start things in the second half. They've scored the first two. Worth noting, welcome in Boston Whitecaps' own Christian Foster helping to coach their Red team a little bit here, as he has his own game tonight. And there's a turn by Blue again. Jesse Nason trying to get it to Kevin Wren. Now Red floating it out. And Bartoli able to smack it away. Bartoli headed to UMass Amherst next year. Another one of those Ashland High School seniors along with Ryan Almeida. And he will handle right now. First cut off. Wren trying to get it back, though D'd nicely by Teddy Campbell. He had that one read the whole way. Verrill handling to start. Covered by Strout. Gets it back to Adner. Almeida on him. Right back. And just a drop right there by CeCe Root. She's had a nice afternoon, too. A couple of scores. Almeida is going to be sent deep this time. He's already got 4. Make it 5 goals on the afternoon. He's having a heck of a day. Makes it 9-6 now. Blue set to pull up 9-6. That was their first point here in the second half. Red got things going with the first 2. Short pull. They'll roll a little bit and finally come to the stop and get it in the hands of Spencer Davis out of Concord Carlisle High School. Swinging it up the field. Chandra out of Concord Carlisle High School. Tight mark. Forces inaccurate throw. CeCe Root couldn't dig that one out, a little bit low. And Dave Strout from Natick will pick things up here for Blue. Here's Almeida. Already 5 goals. 5 goals on the afternoon. He's had a nice day. Here's Bartoli. Bartoli, a high pass. The wind picked it up maybe a little bit out of the reach of his man. Craig Coco intercepts. And this is going to have to be a good read, and it is. And in the hands of Cushland. Again, Cushland had a nice day so far. Sumner Cushland, another Ashland High player. Let's see. It was a short dump back, but Craig Coco lays out and digs it out. Here's Davis after the swing. And CeCe Root, who had a nice first half, is having some trouble here in the second. A couple of drops here. Another one right there. I'll get it back in the hands of Blue, and Dave Strout will start things off. Wren trying to make that first cut. That's Bartoli, excuse me. Wren has it now. Bartoli had it slipped, and that time he bobbles the disc, slipping again, and turns it over. Cushland up ahead to Coco, floating this one up. Going to be a battle. Almost bailing it out was Red. They couldn't come up with it, though. A couple of Red players right there, bobbling it a few times. It kind of juggled it between them, and be nothing more than a turn. It's a good opportunity right there. But Bartoli will pick it up and start things off here for Blue. Almeida with the first cut. Has the disc. Going to put a huck up there. believe that's go. And it's Strout that comes up with it. Leanne Go from Lexington couldn't read it quite that well, and Almeida's right there. Blue up 10-6 now. Pulling, here's Adner. Low throw is dug out nicely by Cushlin. Back to Verrill. Verrill kind of floated this one out for a huck and knocked out of bounds. A little bit of contact. See Teddy Kurkowski grab his back there. No call, though. It's clean. Kurkowski, nice job by Connolly beating Verrill. And again, Adner with a bid to get it past Almeida. Now Almeida's going to huck one out into the end zone, and it's going to track down Gavin Smith. He made Gavin Smith at a hand over high. That pull, though, goes out of bounds. Maybe the wind picked it up a little bit. Let's see. Wind has been on and off this afternoon. Here's Adner. Now Blue out in his zone with the cup. They've been pretty much man most of the day. You see Connolly back there deep. As Red has been able to move up the field. Adner, I think he thought about putting it. He's got a man all alone on the right-hand side of that near side of the field, but instead they'll get the easy one in for the score. 11-7 your score. Blue on top is Verrill, Rusty Verrill from Holliston High School, pulling there for Red. See some of the D1 All-Stars starting to trickle in. They have a game following this one, and then following that, Boston Whitecaps will host the DC Current. So an exciting night of Ultimate here at Hormel Stadium. Here's a long put. Connolly, who's done a lot of the handling today, will attract that one in for the score. Makes it 12-7. 12-7 the score after Matt Connolly ran one in. This one's pulled, though, from Connolly is going to float out of bounds and onto the track. Connolly bound for Colby College next year after graduating from St. John's Prep as a Division II champion over Ashland High School. And now playing today, his teammate Ryan Almeida. Him and Connolly squared off in that championship game, and Almeida has been an offensive star here for Blue. Adner for Red right there has to go down. Make a layout grab on just a dump. Again, wind picking up again. Davis puts one out. And Leanne Go, I don't know if she actually touched it, but good positioning there against Pascal Froelich. Didn't really get the D, but kept Froelich away. Oh, this one's coming back. I'm going to get a foul called on the throw. So Davis will get another chance with it. Disc is in. Connolly on the mark. Red trying to reset their stack. Swings it up to Adner. Adner will send it out. And bobbling it into the end zone all the way in.
I just found out that Ariella is from Northeastern.
Okay.
And
Hang on one sec. Red getting back within 4. 12-8 the score. Blue picking it up. And Red back in that zone defense. See the cup coming over, led by Adner. Swinging around to Connolly. Low throw dug out, and trying to do a little bit of a give and go, though. Wren can't pick it up, so Red will take over once again. They're trying to inch back in this one in the second half. They started off with a 2-0 lead in the second half. Nice D there by Go. Leanne Go out of Lexington, number 62. Knocks it away, and Blue will take over once again. Juergens started things off. Swings it back to Warmington. And it's Nagel. Back up to Juergens. Here's Connolly. Connolly's been the premier handler, and he's going to send this one deep. Gonna be chased down and knocked away, but still up in the air and well out the back of the end zone. Good D there by number 17, Teddy Campbell out of Holliston.
So just two changes. Sam is not here anymore. Taking his number is Alex Guerrero going to RPI, Ariella Northeast. Cool. Thank you.
We'll take over after a nice defensive play by Campbell. Verrill walks it up to the line. Connolly, kind of a big guy to try and get it around. He does, into the hands of Coco. Sumner Cushland in control, handling here. Trying to find somewhere to get it to. Verrill able to finally make that cut from Cushland. Over to Jake Adner. Adner back to Cushland. Cushland sees Froelich. She lays out. But can't come down with the disc, so that's a turn here for Red. Seen a couple of those opportunities for them right in the end zone, but they just can't come up with it. So Blue will get a chance here. Trying to finish this one off. 12-8 the score. Here's Conley. Up ahead to Go. Go. Quick dump off. That's the second time she's tried to do that to connect with Wren. Kevin Wren from Acton Boxborough. And a Red player has been right there to knock it away. Jake Adner the dump. Over to Cushland. Cushland swings it back to Adner. Nice layout grab there from Cushland. He's not in, but a beautiful catch. See if he can finish it off. And Adner with a little layout there. Rusty Verrill will pull once again here for Red. Nice pull from Verrill. And it'll be tracked down by Dave Strout. Red defender Craig Coco going for it right there at that layout. Back over to Kurkowski. Over to Strout. And Strout and Kurkowski really just playing catch out here. Running grab there by Pat Baker. Nice D right there. Rusty Verrill knocking that one away. You could hear it up here, how hard he smacked the disc. Trying to get Red back in this one, and a good D that time from Dave Strout. Intended for Corey Camara. Have not seen much of him today. Long grab there for Blue. Who else? Ryan Almeida. Almeida short of the end zone. Trying to decide what to do with the disc. Here comes the mark now. Dumps it back to Verrill. Verrill with the put. And Almeida fumbling his way. Makes the catch. He's had some trouble staying on his feet today. And then quick short put to Patrick Baker in for the score. 13-9 the score here. Blue on top. There's another nice catch for Ryan Almeida, who's really been the star of the game here at Ashland High School. Trying to make up for that runner-up position he had in the championship game against St. John's. Now he's out on the mark on Adner. That was kind of a high dump back as Red swinging the disc nicely now. Froelich with the grab. Up ahead to Cushland. Cushland's had a nice afternoon. A little too low for Adner trying to run that one down. Cushland and Almeida, although on opposite teams today, both out of Ashland High School. Mention Almeida headed to Davidson College next year. As Dave Strout walks this one up to the goal line. And we'll start things off for Blue. Almeida with that first cut. A little bit high, able to track it down. Patrick Baker now making an in cut. He shakes him off. Said he's going to float this one up. And it's going to fall out of bounds. But just for assurance, Corey Camara knocks it down. Nice grab there. Evan Dean, who has been quiet recently, had a big role early in this one. Now Adner puts that one out. It's out of bounds. Strout knocks it away. So back-to-back plays where we've seen the disc float out of bounds, but the defender decides to knock it away just for assurance so he can sleep easier at night. Teddy Kurkowski with the grab up ahead to Leanne Go. Dumps it back to Kurkowski. Pat Baker floats one out for Stroud. He's got a couple of defenders coming in for him. Makes the grab. Almeida streaking up the field. Makes a cut, and it's Go who ends up getting the score. So Ryan Almeida basically kind of a distraction for his defenders as Leanne Go gets in for the easy score and makes it 14-9. So that's smart. Blue pulling. Looking for their final point here. Now up 14-9. That pull really floated high and didn't go too far. Right out that 45-yard line. Jake Adner will pick it up, though it did stay in bounds, which is nice. Right on the sideline. Adner, low throw, dug out by Campbell. Campbell right back up to Adner. Adner puts this one up. He's got Davis back there, and it is Deed and no, it's caught by Red. Must have pulled it away at the last second. Craig Coco, and now they're going to talk about it. I'm going to say it's a turn. He went out of bounds. So Blue with a chance to win it right here. Putting it up for Conley. He can't run it down. Went right through his hands. Oh, Red will get a chance to stay alive here as Verrill starts things off. Can't connect, though, with Root. Blue in a little bit better field position in the hands of Connolly, who's been really their main handler this afternoon. Connolly puts one out for Alex Nagel, and that's going to do it. Nagel with the game-winning point. Blue goes on to win this one 15-9. But, of course, a big congratulations to all our D2 high school all-stars. First for the red team, Summer Cushlin out of Ashland High School, Cullen Widenar out of Zavarian, CC Root from Andover, Pascal Froelich from Newton North, Rusty Verrill from Holliston, Kate Matthews, Concord Carlisle, Craig Coco from Natick, Jake Rubin from Sharon, Jake Adner, St. John's Prep, Casey Bantarayan out of Acton Boxborough, Corey Camara from Beverly, Teddy Campbell from Holliston, Evan Dean from Zavarian, Cam Simmons from Middleborough, and Spencer Davis from Concord Carlisle. And for your winning blue team, Gavin Smith from Andover, Teddy Kurkowski from Barrington, Jesse Nason out of Andover, Angaha Chandra from Concord Carlisle, Chris Bartoli from Ashland, Nick Jurgens from Middleborough, Alex Nagel from Abington, Dave Strout out of Natick, Paul Warmington from Attleboro, Kevin Wren from Acton Boxborough, Leanne Go from Lexington, Matt Connolly from St. John's Prep, Pat Baker from Concord Carlisle, and easily the MVP of this game, Ryan Almeida, number 99 from Ashland High School. Our camera person, Dana Matson, I'm Jeff Poster. That's it for our D1 or D2 high school all-star game. Final score, Blue 15, Red 9.